Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to some more F1 2020 My Team Career Mode Season 2. After last time out, we're hoping to improve on our performances as we did not finish in Australia and only managed a P8 finish in Bahrain. You may be wondering, where's your face cam, Sue? Well, I recorded this deep into the night and I didn't want to bother the housemates and the people living around me, so instead I will be doing a voiceover in the post edit pretty much. So I edited this video and I'm doing a voiceover. So please do let me know if you prefer a voiceover over a face cam, or I can just go back to doing face cam. But yeah, here we are heading on into the next set of Grand Prix, which is the Vietnamese and Chinese Grand Prix. I think I'm going to do double headers in each episode going on in Season 2, mainly because I feel like I want to play this a lot more and I also want to speed things up for your viewing pleasure. So instead of doing shorter videos, I think I'm going to do a little bit longer videos. I mean, this one is probably going to be about 40-45 minutes long, mainly because it's a double header. But yeah, please do let me know what you prefer and I will adjust accordingly, as this seems to be the most popular thing on my channel right now and I want to try and record a lot of it and also provide you with some good entertainment, especially since lockdowns are continuing around the world. Anyway, all of that aside, we are heading on into an invitational event in a Ferrari. We have to overtake all the other drivers on the field, and we have a limited time to do that. I think that was like 4 minutes and 40 seconds or 5 minutes or so. So first car is overtaken with a massive corner cut, but that is fine. We take a little hit on that car, but we are easily through. Kaufman collision, it doesn't really matter. Ferrari can build a company. Another nice run on the inside line against Sari, and then another triplet up ahead here, taking the slight slipstream off of that car, Mikulski, and then a double overtake here with a dive bomb around that corner and securing P5. I mean, the last time out, Australia was a bit of a struggle because of downforce issues. I was mentioning a lot of times that the car felt like it was on ice skates. Well, after trying out this invitational event, I feel like I think I'm good to try anti-lock brakes again. So what you're seeing right now has no anti-lock brake assists. So it's going to be fun because I love the prospects of locking up. That kind of provides the viewers with something to look out for, and mistakes by the drivers that could be costly. So I just wanted to have that added, challenge and also added excitement in the videos. So I decided to put that on. Massive corner cutting there to reignite Sioux Lawn Mowing Industries, and it's good enough to see us get P1 by the end of the time. So here we go. Past the invitational event, we get 150k as well as some acclaim, which is all good for the team. Moving on now, we are heading on to the Vietnamese Grand Prix, and we have a failed component. Component meaning one of the upgrades didn't work out, and that's the durability department. The minor MGU-H upgrade, I believe, failed, as you can see here, and we restart that one before heading on into Vietnam. Heading on into Vietnam itself, we notice that qualifying will be a relatively dry session, minus the end, which I think will be Q3, but otherwise during the race itself it'll be dry all around. We sit at 4th place on the performance grid with Racing Point, Red Bull, and Mercedes fighting it out up top. They have a significant distance between us and them, so hopefully we can catch that up in the near future. Showing you guys the assists here as well, because I just wanted to remind myself of what's on and off, but also for you guys to know how I'm challenging myself in Season 2. As you saw, anti-lock brakes are off, so that means there could be lockups. And then I put vehicle damage on full as well, which used to be on reduced for Season 1, and we're going to run 80% expert or 80 AI driver level, as well as a full qualifying and a 50% race. This time out, Vietnam was really good. I really enjoyed the track. As you can see, I didn't finish last. I got 17th in P1, or practice 1, let's say. Jack Aitken gets mid-table with P10 as we head on into qualifying. So, rocking the End Racism helmet as we always do. We want to support that message as much as we can. So, here we go into qualifying. Our first run is looking good, a P4, just behind Jack Aitken by I think like some hundredths of a second. As you can see here, we get P9 and 10 respectively between Jack and myself. That sees us through to Q2, which is a good showing with only one run, by the way. We used one set of soft compound tires. We see the Haas, the Alfa Romeos, and the Williams cars failing to qualify for Q2. And here we are trying our first run on medium compound tires, hoping for a decent and competitive run on medium tires. But as you will see as we cross the line here, we are not that fast. Of course, that is expected because we are on a slower set of tires compared to the soft. So we give it another shot with the soft compound tires, hitting the wall as we exit, and it's not good enough as we sit in P13. Jack Aitken gets P3, so he's on to Q3, but it's all to fight for in the race itself as we hope to get a better finish.
Welcome along to the Vietnamese capital of Hanoi, a vibrant city built on the banks of the magnificent Red River. Today it's the backdrop for the latest round of the Formula One World Championship, with a circuit specifically designed to encourage overtaking opportunities. I think we could be in for a cracking race today. A lap of Hanoi circuit then, 3.4 miles around the Vietnamese capital. A number of the 23 corners take their inspiration from other great circuits, hopefully creating plenty of passing opportunities. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Russell, Perez, Norris, Aitken and Daniel Kvyat, Bottas, Ocon, Falcon and Stroll, Sainz, Gasly, Romain Grosjean and Antonio Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Latifi, Albon and Nick de Vries. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Indeed, we will aim for that top 10 finish. Looking at our driver strategy here, I think we're going to stick with the soft to hards. We're also going to drop the fuel load to approximately 1.5 laps below anticipated, I guess. So yeah, 52 kilograms will do. Trying to mess around with the setup a little, trying to see if mediums are better or hards are better. But yeah, it is up to no avail as we see that the recommended strategy of softs to hards, are a lot better. I mean, you can see here we're trying to mess around with 2-stop strategies. 1-stop strategies are mediums to softs better or hard to softs, etc. But yeah, we are going to stick with the soft to hard. It seems that our projected race time only differs by 1/10 or below if we come in sooner or later, but we're going to stick to the plan as we prepare for the race itself. Here we go, 5 red lights in Vietnam and off we go. Decent start, a little hesitated start though, as we still get a decent run between Bottas and Kvyat, I believe, and then we go around the outside, going the long way around, and we get shoved off the grid, but we will take the corner cutting penalty, but we have to give back 2 illegal overtake positions, which is fine, and then we will let them pass. Going on to the next turn here, we see George Russell struggling a little, and we get a dive bomb in on him. as we take that turn nicely, and we have the two Ferraris up ahead of us. Hopefully we can catch them in the near future as we head on into the long straight, the first long straight, I believe, on the other end of the track, pretty much. Pushing as far as we can here and trying to get close to the Ferraris. We know our car is a lot faster than the Ferraris, and this car feels like a bullet on straight lines. As you can see, we just caught up with the Ferraris in no time, so hopefully we can keep that up as we enter the final sector of the race, I believe. Trying to catch up to Vettel and hopefully push for Leclerc in the near future. The windy roads are a bit difficult, but I take those nicely and stay competitive behind Vettel. During practice, that was always the struggling point for our car. As you saw just there, we went a tiny bit wide, and that is a common mistake I make all the time. So hopefully within the race itself, I will fix that. As you saw, we also took on a second corner cutting penalty, which is fine. No more mistakes going forward as lap 1 wraps up, and we are hoping to get lap 2 closer to Vettel and Leclerc. Did I say that right? As I just overtake Vettel in that turn and hope to see Leclerc behind us soon. And we are in time for that because our car is faster than Leclerc's. As we head on into the long straight, Vettel tries to overtake us, but his car isn't good enough. Our car is a lot faster in straight lines compared to him, so hopefully we can get closer to Leclerc and overtake him. Trying to get the slipstream a little bit, bravely takes the outer line and overtakes Leclerc. What a move from us to secure P4. Ricardo up ahead alongside Hamilton. As you see the replay from that move, strong outer line to go around Leclerc and secure us the position. Now that Leclerc and Vettel are in my rear view mirrors with 1.7 seconds delta, 1.2 delta, yeah, we are trying to push for Ricardo, but Ricardo's car is fast. The Red Bull is currently the fastest car on the grid, so I'm hoping that Hamilton or Ricardo himself makes mistakes to slow them down, or maybe they even fight each other for that second spot or P2 spot, and hopefully I can catch up out of nowhere. And then all of a sudden we get a yellow flag on this long straight, and I wonder what the heck that is, and all of a sudden Ricardo is just stuck in the middle of the road. I don't know why that is not red flagged, but mainly because red flags don't exist in the game. But you see here Ricardo driving along, but then all of a sudden he loses control of his car and it just swings out of control, and he is spun around, hits the front of the car into the concrete barriers, and then swings around and hits his car again in the concrete to totally destroy his front wing, and then he's stuck there. And here comes yours truly from Sue Motorsport behind and nearly rams into Red Bull, but yeah, the only thing we hit is the debris as it flies off into the distance as we drive by. But that was definitely a close call from us. We could have seen ourselves retire from the race, but thankfully we did not. Continuing our drive here, decent drive down the long straight and a nice exit. Sees us slightly catching Hamilton, but still Hamilton is too far away with 3.5 seconds or so. Now that is extended to 5.6 seconds or something like that. It's some ridiculous number, almost 6 seconds. Tire wise we're doing well, but we did take a slight hit on the front right wing. As you see there, it's a slight tinge of yellow to it. I think it's still manageable, so I'm hoping to drive well and then maintain it, but we'll see what happens. As we enter lap 7, Verstappen still maintains the fastest lap, but oh my goodness, out of nowhere Vettel tries to overtake us, but he chickens out just as we re-enter and elbow ourselves back into P3. Another lap down, lap 8. Vettel still strong on our tail, and Jack Aitken is long gone behind us. Hamilton and Norris pit, so that means Verstappen is ahead of us. I don't know why Norris's name popped up all of a sudden, but oh my goodness, what a crash from Vettel. takes out our front wing completely, and I think we hit like Stroll here. Sorry, Stroll gets knocked off as we get pinged off the concrete barrier, and then a VSC is deployed. Of course it is. I was hoping for a full safety car since we have no wing, but a virtual safety car will have to do. Here is a replay of what happened. Just Vettel shoves us into the concrete barriers, and then we slam into Stroll, and Stroll loses his front wing as well. Should be a red flag moment, and then all of a sudden Perez out of nowhere tries to attack us, and then he loses a wing as well. And yeah, we didn't get a penalty for that, we just get a warning. You can see here we have no front wing, so we are a bit of a dangerous car out there, I say, and Perez just hits us, and now we have two cars with no wings, and Bottas took that opportunity and overtakes both of us. But yeah, here we are heading on into the pit to get a new set of wings and a new set of tires. I think we're going to move on to the hard compound of tires so that we can see out the rest of the race in hard compound tires. Hopefully our pit crew can do wonders here and give us a short pit turnaround, but that is all to pray for because we're not sure. These pit times are very random, and I'm expecting somewhere around 6 to 7 seconds here. As you see behind us, Perez, Magnussen also pit, and we are shoved down the row. And then another VSC out of nowhere. Goodness me, what is happening to this Grand Prix? I don't know who crashed or what happened, but a VSC is deployed once again, and it's yellow flags all around. Coming out of the pits just behind Albon and Magnussen, so hopefully we can push on them and then overtake them quickly and make way up the field. Hard compound tires, of course, are slower, a lot slower than mediums and softs, so I'm trying to make sure I get enough heat in the tire, and then of course as I do that on my first or second lap or rather this is the third lap, third lap, I hit the wall and then my wing is just gone. Jeff tells me to pit, but I'm like, I think I will be able to manage it. Just took another hit there, as you may have heard, but it doesn't look good for our wing. But I just decide, you know what, I'm gonna brave it out. A yellow right front wing might be fine, so I keep pushing for laps and laps and laps, and we see ourselves in P16 by lap 14. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say here. I'm trying to push as much as I can, but you see all these cars pitting at random times and you're wondering what in the world is happening. Are, cars losing wings? Are they getting punctures? I mean, the punctures are rare in this game, but still, I'm like, what is happening to all these cars? Now you see Kvyat pit. Are they doing two-stop strategies? Possibly, but I saw mostly people doing only one stop, so all these strategies are out the window right now with all these VSCs and bizarre circumstances. But lap after lap, my hard compound tires are pretty slow. I'm getting reds in all sectors, so I'm not expecting anything good. Mainly also because of the front wing damage. I know front wing damage can make the car a lot slower than it usually is. So by lap 20, I'm wondering, okay, maybe I should just say this is a lost cause and strive for a fastest lap by pitting onto soft compound tires. Like you can see behind me, Lance Stroll, Latifi are on medium compound tires, and they're catching me pretty quick. Like Lance Stroll is all of a sudden 0.7 seconds behind me, and it's not looking good. So I decide to pit for soft compound tires and a new set of front wings, hoping to be competitive and possibly record a fastest lap in the final moments of the race. As you see here, putting some heat into the tires, and I'm still red all around in the racetrack. And then now you can see that the heat in the tires are working wonders because we got two green sectors, and I'm catching the car in front. As you see here, Nick de Vries has a poor exit, and I use his slipstream to my benefit and overtake him quite easily because the Williams is the slowest car out there and our car is fourth fastest. But I ate the Williams for breakfast pretty much there. Now we have our eyes set on Ocon. trying to push on him, who's on medium compound tires. So I'm hoping to get a good exit around this curve here. And I do, and it's a inner line overtake on Ocon before the long straight ahead, and indeed we secure ourselves P19. Now we are looking forward to taking over Magnussen, but it is already lap 27 and I'm getting blue flag. Yeah, it was a poor Grand Prix overall, and Bottas pretty much secures the race win. And the race prematurely finishes because I think when the champion crosses the line, the race finishes automatically anyway. So P19 it is for us.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Yet another historic win under their belts. Well done to the team at Mercedes. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, when you overtake that many people, I'd certainly hope you'd win the race. Their car was really effective in the slipstream here today, and the team would be pleased that they didn't cook the engine, given how long they were spending in the hot air behind other cars. They had a lot of confidence to push their tyres hard as well, especially going into the corners, which allowed for some late braking and some exciting passes.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Valtteri Bottas with a very quick laps to overtake Verstappen, who was ahead by like, I don't know, 12 seconds or something at some point. But Bottas overtakes him to claim P1, Verstappen P2, and Hamilton P3. What a showing from Red Bull to secure podium finishes. But for us, it's bad news because also Jack Aitken did not finish. It seems to be something with durability issues or something like that. But let's take a look here at the grid. Vettel gets P4, Norris, Gasly, Leclerc, Russell, Kvyat, Sainz in the top 10 spots. Constructor standing wise, we are dropping down to P8, and the driver standing, we're also dropping down to P11, mainly because we didn't score any points. But there is no time to ponder as we prepare for the next Grand Prix, the Chinese Grand Prix in Shanghai, I believe. It is one of my favorite tracks in the game, so hopefully we can get a good result there. Setting up our activity timeline to be maxed out. We also purchased another durability upgrade for the facilities because I think Jack Aikens did not finish, resulted from a durability issue. So I'm hoping to push a lot of durability upgrades. We got a failed aerodynamic upgrade, which we will sort out just before we head on into the Grand Prix practice sessions. So we get that settled, and then we have some money left over, and I'm thinking maybe it's time to, invest more in our durability department. So I decide to get the MGUH durability minor upgrade. I think I said that earlier, but I apologize because it's the one below that. I don't know which one that is, but yeah, we are going to get the MGUH durability upgrade, a minor one, but I hope it is enough to really make the car reliable enough for Jack Aitken to finish the race. It is going to be a dry weekend all around. As you see here, I am finishing up a race strategy practice program. The car felt really good and the track felt really good, and I felt really confident about driving here. And you will see here also, I noticed my car is super fast in long straights. Now let's take a look here on the final straight before the start finish straight. This car feels like a rocket ship going down this straight, and you can see the delta just gain a lot of time into the green, and our top speed is 210 miles per hour. I'm sorry guys, like this is insane. So yeah, now we know in our race strategy that we can overtake at those spots, those the long straight near the end of the start finish straight. heading on into the start-finish straight, I mean, and getting a good exit out of that hairpin turn. If we can manage that, I think we will be very competitive in the race itself. As you saw there, a lot of good green and purples all around the practice programs, mainly because I felt good doing them all, and then all of a sudden I found myself in purples on the first try of everything. P4 finish by practice too as we head on into qualifying next, and that's a good sign. Hopefully we are competitive in qualifying as well. Beautiful day in China as we try to complete our first lap of qualifying one. DRS open wide, and we are second best, and we just leave it at that. One shot qualifying, we get P8. Jack Aiken gets P11, seeing him through to Q2 as well. So Su Motorsport heading on into Q2 in back-to-back Grand Prix, which is a good sign. Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams failing to do any damage, except for Kevin Magnussen, who makes it out. And Kvyat sadly gets a disqualification, and that was mainly because of being parked in a dangerous position. I'm not quite sure what happened there. But Q2 is here, and our first lap wasn't the greatest as we see ourselves in P11, and then another lap sees us in P11 again. Sadly, we get knocked out alongside Perez, Norris, Magnussen, Aiken, and Ocon. So hopefully we can do damage in the race itself as always. So let's head on to the race.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles an hour, with DRS assisting the cars down the back straight before they brake into the sharp hairpin at turn 14. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Vettel, Russell, Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Falcon, Perez, Lando Norris and Magnussen, Aitken, Ocon, Antonio Giovinazzi and Alexander Albon, Grosjean, Latifi, De Vries and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, let's see if we can get a top 10 finish today.
Indeed, we will try for a top 10 finish since we only need to gain one position and then we're already in the top 10. So hopefully I'm aiming for a podium in this match, or rather this race. Sorry, I called it a match mainly because I'm so into football these days. Anyway, yeah, F1 race in Shanghai, dropping our fuel load to approximately 60 kilograms, I believe. We're gonna lighten our car a little because fuel saving is possible here. Medium to hard compound tire race strategy, which seemed to be the best. And here we go, ready for the start. 5 red lights in Shanghai, and off we go. Rich and overtake deployed to easily overtake Sainz and trying to overtake others here as we try to take the inside line into the first turn. Just backing out before rear-ending Russell there, and we get hit by Sainz, I believe. Nearly lost our car, but thankfully we maintain a P7 start now. There's a huge tussle behind us, and I think I slightly hit Russell, but that is all behind us as we try and attack Gasly and Leclerc, who are in P5 and P6. respectively. And hopefully we can get something done, and we come to the long straight that I was talking about. This is the place where we can easily overtake and catch up to other cars. As you see here, Leclerc is slow, Gasly is slightly faster than him, but we are a bullet ripping through this back straight here, and we easily overtake Gasly and Leclerc. A double overtake move there, and I shake the wheel in a bit of happy gesture. Let's take a look at the replay here. 3 wide going down this back straight. Gasly slides in front of Leclerc and I take the inside line, barely missing out on Hamilton and Bottas. I could have lost my wing there, but thankfully I didn't. Again, we are back here on the long straight, and look at the delta here. Bottas is approximately 1.6, but I'm maintaining that despite having a slightly slower car than the Mercedes. Of course, the Mercedes is ahead of us on the performance grid, but we are staying competitive with the straight line speed that we have on our car. Slowly but surely we are getting better laps done. We are 7/10 faster than our previous laps, so that is a good sign. But Bottas and Hamilton have driven ahead as I was tussling a little with Russell and Leclerc, trying to defend my position at P5. Bottas now ahead by 6.8 seconds-ish, but now that delta is slowly dropping on the back straight here. We know we are fast, so hopefully we can use that to our advantage as we progress further on into the Grand Prix. Again, not going to make the same mistakes we made in Vietnam, where we just stayed out a little too long and then made changes to our wing or damaged wing and got faster compound tires. So we're not making that mistake again here. Again, lap after lap we are getting faster and faster. You could say that, but still red sectors all around, so it means our tires are wearing out a bit. Verstappen, I believe, pits for hard compound tires early, possibly a wing damage situation there, I'm not sure. But yeah, we take the lead for a moment as we stay out longer. Other cars have dipped, so I decide this is our chance in complete free air and trying to extend our gap to the cars behind. As you see here, Norris is in P2 and he's approximately 4.5 seconds behind us, and I tried to extend that, but sadly it's not good enough. Our tires, I think, are too worn to give us faster lap times. As you see, our lap is plus 1 second slower than our best lap ever in the Grand Prix. So it's not looking good for us, but I try to keep pushing as I prepare for the one-stop strategy. I think our pit lap is like lap 11, 12 or something like that, or maybe even 13. So I'm trying to push as hard as I can, staying in front of Norris and Perez. As you see, as time progresses, oh goodness, Max Verstappen is out of the race and the VSC is deployed. So we got to slow down our car, but you can see here I'm going very slow, but the delta is telling me I'm like a second faster. I think this is a glitch in the game. I'm not sure. I'm like almost stationary and the delta just stays very red. I don't know why. Anyway, it's green flag running again out of nowhere, and I think, okay, this is my chance to escape from Norris, but one turn that's gone in the gutter and we're back to 2 seconds ahead. Yeah, it seems like lap 12 or 13 is the pit lap, so we are going to try and push as hard as we can, but if you observe, the delta's a little harder, and closely, if you observe it closely, Norris is maintaining approximately 2 seconds gap behind us and is closing in on us at times. So it's not looking all too great for us. The medium compound tires are almost gone, so hopefully we can pit soon. Lap 13 arrives, and yes, this is our lap window, or rather I should say pit window, but I decided to go one more lap like an idiot. I don't know, I just felt like I'm driving well. I think I can maintain this plus 2 second lead, and I pit at the end of lap 14 instead as we come in for hard compound tires, and I'm hoping that I get a good turnaround here again. and hope for a good exit. Hopefully there isn't a lot of traffic as we come across the line. I mean, the tires were okay here as you just saw, but I just wanted faster tires because my lap times were just abominable. They were just horrible, so I decided to pit and get new tires. But then all of a sudden we're double stacking. Jack is coming in. I'm hoping that the pit crew adjusts for Jack just in time. But here we are on hard compound tires. We get a purple sector 3, which is good to see. But hopefully that means our tires get warmer after lap after lap, and hopefully we can get faster lap times. As you see, 2 green sectors now. We are slightly getting faster than, oh goodness, look at that, minus 0.3 seconds from our best lap, so we are faster, and Hamilton is only 1.7 seconds ahead. Some good laps will see me close that gap. It's now 2.2, but hopefully I can catch that up. My eyes are set firm on that P3 finish. As lap after lap, we are getting better lap times than before. So the hard compound tire is underrated. I say that again. I had a previous episode where I discussed why hard compound tires are underrated. Like, I won Grand Prix on hard compound tires because of my strategy. But you see here, I am faster than Hamilton. That delta time was almost at 0.9, 0.8. I got DRS off of him. And then a couple of bad turns, and then I'm back to 1 second behind. And it's almost closing down to the final laps of the Grand Prix. And look at that. My delta is just teasing me. It's teasing me, like telling me that I'm so close, but I can't overtake Hamilton. Like, again, I was 0.7 seconds behind him, and then all of a sudden I'm back up to 1 second, and now I'm back down to 0.9, and then back to 1.09. It is teasing me. And Jeff tells me that we're catching him, so that's even bigger tease of me almost catching up to P3. Vettel is all of a sudden out of the session, and I was hoping for a safety car deployment, but then again, it's lap 27, so it's very unlikely that a safety car is deployed in the final laps of the Grand Prix. As we enter the final lap of the Grand Prix itself, we are approximately 1/10 slower than before, and oh my goodness, it is 1 second behind Hamilton, and we come to the long straight again just before the final turns of the race, and I'm hoping to catch Hamilton here, deploying everything I got, rich and overtake. We are maintaining approximately 1 second behind the Mercedes, and I know if I get a good exit out of here, hopefully we can catch him. A little lockup, 0.6 seconds, but sadly I am unable to catch Hamilton as he makes the last turn nicely, and yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it's a P4 finish for us. So close, but no cigar.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly well-deserved win. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Great to see Daniel Ricciardo win a Grand Prix with Red Bull. Reminds us of back in the day, like 2018, I believe, when Ricciardo was still with Red Bull. Yeah, like really good showing from Red Bull, and then again Mercedes securing the P2 and P3 finish. Hamilton is not getting a lot of P1s, so it's a bit worrying. Maybe Hamilton is close to retirement in this game, I don't know. But there we are, P4 finish, just behind Hamilton by what? Minimal seconds, but it's a bit of a shame. Lando Norris is behind us. Perez, Russell, Stroll, Ocon, Kvyat, Magnussen. Aitken gets a P12 finish. Sainz, Gasly, Albon, Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Latifi, De Vries, Grosjean, and Vettel. Vettel was out of the Grand Prix, but apparently he finishes. Verstappen did not finish, but he did secure the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so he gets a point for that. Bit of a shame we couldn't get the fastest lap on our hard compound tires because we were pushing for that, but I guess Verstappen was on softs or something that made him a lot faster than us. We are in P11 with 16 points to our name in the driver's standing. It was a good set of points to win in China. The pretty much Grand Prix felt really good, and I'm glad that I got at least a P4. I was so close to P3, but it wasn't meant to be. We are P8 in the constructor standing, and hopefully in the final couple Grand Prix we will see that our name is up higher on the list. After the whole episode here, we are losing to Leclerc. I think the rivalry is lost already, but we never know. Leclerc could get a did not finish in the next Grand Prix, but that is all to see in the next episode. Our acclaim as a team is on 15. Our personal is on 13. Jack is also performing pretty good, and he is securing us some good acclaim and resource points. Anyway, here we are at the end of the episode. It was a bit of a bizarre one with the Vietnamese Grand Prix having so many VSCs, and I think that's the first time I've ever seen that happen. It's quite bizarre that VSC would be deployed that many times, and instead there was no safety car. I think a safety car would have done better, but it wasn't meant to be. A safety car would have been so helpful in the previous Grand Prix, and this one actually. Then I could have easily taken over Hamilton in P3, but it wasn't meant to be. This straight line speed was insane, so I think we got to make good use of that in the next couple Grand Prix where this could be applicable. I was so close to overtaking the Mercedes there, but I backed out just in time so that I don't lose any of my car components, be it the wings or maybe a puncture in the wheel. Yeah, I just didn't need a did not finish in this video. Anyway, what else can I reflect on? I mean, car straight line speed, the upgrades are coming through nicely. I think it's time that we bolster up our investment in durability because Jack Aiken did not finish the Vietnamese Grand Prix, which is a bad sign. So hopefully the next couple episodes will gain incredible amounts of resource points and dump a lot of it into the durability upgrades. We definitely need it now that we're in Season 2. We could have neglected it in Season 1, which we did, but we cannot neglect it here in Season 2 as the Grand Prix are also longer. We bumped it up to 28 laps. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe if you are new for more racing content like this, and also hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when the next video goes live. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Going ahead, we're going to keep this a double header, and it'll be a fun time. So please be sure to come back next time when we continue to the next Grand Prix. See you guys next time.